Okay, gonna make sure the stream is good to go, and then we'll just start talking about whatever. So.
You're the boss.
Okay. Okay, so, hey everyone, it's Marvel here, and doing another of these chilling out streams that a few of you have been asking for, and I'm kind of, well, I'm giving you another one. So today I am going to be chilling out with the phenomenal Spider-Man, as his channel name is. Or you say whatever. I'm really bad with pronouncing names and stuff, so. Alright. So we have him here. I'm just going to be playing some Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, and we'll be talking about, you know, whatever comes to mind. Stuff that we're interested in, and, you know, news with comic books, and whatever else we've been seeing as of late. So, do you have anything worth, like, you want to talk about?
Well, the big thing that just comes to mind, obviously, is the whole big deal happening over at Capcom and Marvel with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, or as most likely it's, you know, actually supposedly called Limited, because of the whole X-Men and Fantastic Four inclusion, or yeah, or uninclusion, I should say. Yeah, man, that company, those two companies are in a PR nightmare right now with just the fan base. Like, they are not happy. Nobody is really pleased with the turnout of what's happening over with Capcom and Marvel over the absence of the X-Men characters specifically. I think more than Fantastic Four. I mean, not having Doctor Doom in the game kind of is like really stupid, because I think he, Magneto, and Wolverine are kind of series staples, coming from the very first Marvel game that Capcom produced and developed up until, you know, well, even going far back as X-Men Children of the Atom, you know, you count the X-Men there, obviously, but the very first Marvel superheroes game, fighting games anyway, had Doom, had the X-Men, had Magneto, it had all these characters, and then for them to just be omitted, you know, to kind of disrespect the legacy of the game, disrespect a lot of fans who have grown attached to these characters, who like these characters and would like to see them come back. I think it's a little asinine. It's really stupid. It doesn't make any sense, and it just only angers people in a situation when you're not trying to anger your fan base and wanting them to buy this game. So I don't understand what their reasoning behind it is, other than the fact that they're probably just sour grapes of the whole rights issues with Fox, and, you know, it's been confirmed multiple times that Marvel has an agenda where they're very, very much obviously trying to X out characters that they don't have any business with, like X-Men or the Fantastic Four, because they just don't want to promote stuff for them.
You know, it's really disappointing. Like one of my favorite characters when I used to play Marvel vs. Capcom 3 a lot was Wolverine and, you know, Deadpool. So it kind of sucks they're taking these characters that are, you know, great, and just kind of, you know, throwing them away.
Yeah, and I think the bigger issue with it, you know, it's one thing to not include a character, but the reason is that they give people are just, they're insulting. They're borderline insulting. They're saying things along the lines like, hey, well, we don't have this character in this game. Here's this character who can do this exactly like this character can. And it defeats the whole purpose. The purpose is not to have a character who does the same exact thing. The purpose is to play as a character you like. And by specifically telling people, hey, we don't care what you like, it really sets the wrong precedent for the game. It's like a developer that just really doesn't care. And Capcom in particular, Marvel can I guess, afford to kind of do this to people, but Capcom cannot, and because it's a Capcom-developed game, it's met with a lot more scrutiny than other games are, just because of the fact that people have been pissed off with Capcom since Street Fighter V, since the launch of that game, how barren it was, how esports focused it was, and people got pissed off. The average consumer, who the game was, supposed to be intended for anyway. But I guess Capcom screwed that up because they focused too hard on the competitive scene rather than the casual scene. And casual are who you've got to sell to, not competitors, because competitors are a very niche community, and they're not going to give you all the money that you spend on developing the game. But yeah, a lot of people got burned because of that game. A lot of people were already wary of that game, so they were looking for Capcom to kind of do them right, essentially, and kind of restore the faith that they had lost. And everything that this game has been doing, from the PR, from the roster leaks, to its presentation, it just looks half-assed. And when you have guys who are producers at both Marvel and Capcom saying, hey, we don't care about what you people want, we just care about putting in our own, our own things with businesses, how do I put this? Our own characters that we have business with, as opposed to characters that you like. It really sets, again, the wrong precedent, and I think it's going to end up costing them big time, because a lot of people are pissed off. A lot of people have already abandoned Marvel to go play Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is looking like an infinitely more better game. Pun intended, I guess.
Yeah. It's, I mean, I was excited because when it was announced back at like early December, it's the next Marvel vs. Capcom game, and then the trailers from like the last few months or so have just been just kind of turning me away. And like I played the story demo that they put out, and I was just like, I'm not gonna play it. I'll just completely like this is wrong.
I had a similar sentiment with the game, because I mean, playing it plays fine, it plays fun, it plays like the Marvel game, a little bit more chaotic, a little bit more TVC-ish, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. It feels very influenced by that game design, but it still plays like a Marvel game. The problem with it is just its overall presentation and the way the game comes across. And when you play that story demo, and you just see how very low effort the characters are, how wrong like most of the characters are. None of these presented in ways that are accurate to the comic books or the video games.
No.
Kind of just like all buddy-buddy. And the humor is wrong, the animations are stiff, the characters look janky. It just feels wrong. It feels very corporate. It feels very manufactured. And it's giving off wrong vibes, especially in the wake of games like Injustice, which Injustice, for what it's worth, is probably one of the better DC projects, film or game-wise in the last, I want to say, few years.
Yeah.
Because say what you want about Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight was kind of a big letdown. To me personally, anyways, because I just felt like you did nothing but ride the Batmobile the entire game. But in terms of the story, it was kind of a letdown as well. But when you come to Injustice, it's kind of cool to see these cast of characters get together and interact with one another in a way that makes sense given the story's narrative. When it comes to Marvel vs. Capcom, there is no real narrative there, you get that sense. They're just teaming up for the sake of teaming up, but the way the characters interact it's going to be a big deal. And I feel like this was a similar issue with Street Fighter V, when it had its story released after God knows how many months of the game being out. And it was just really lackluster, it was really dull, and people played it maybe like once or twice and just forgot about it because it wasn't really anything worth investing in. If you're going to include something like that, and especially a game like Marvel, when you're going to advertise, hey, we have a story mode, you might as well make it seem like you actually care about it and put some effort into it, instead of making it look so low rent and so cliche that it's turning people away because it just feels forced. It feels overly forced.
It does, yeah. And like you were mentioning like the Ross. There's just I don't know. Every time like I see like they're advertising Marvel, more problems just kind of resurface. Like DLC for to mention, like Sigma is a DLC character, Black Panther, and
these are characters that they've already shown off to be somewhat of a presence, especially Sigma. There's no excusing Sigma, but Black Panther was shown in the cinematic to have some semblance in the story mode. But Sigma is one of the main bosses in the game. He's one of the fusions with Ultron, and he's going to be excluded from the game to be sold to you at a later price. When the character, he's already in the game to begin with, because if his assets are in the game, if his character model's in the game, it's not like he's not a finished character. You know what I mean? It's not like they're, you know, taking time to rebuild Sigma and all this other crap. No, he's in the game already.
Yeah.
He's clearly seen him. You can, you know, he's in the game. He's being shielded out for you to pay for him. That's just wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong for the game to announce that there's 6 characters going to be, you know, prepared for DLC like 5 months out before the game is released. Injustice didn't even do that. They launched one pre-order incentive, which was Darkseid. And then after the game came out, they announced all the characters. That's kind of the right way to do it. I'm pretty sure they were locked in the disc as well, but I mean, it doesn't give the consumer the feeling that you're being chipped off.
No.
Having paid $60 for a game and being told, hey, you know, X, Y, and Z characters, you gotta pay for them. You really want to play as Wolverine? You're gonna have to pay for him, like 7 months down the road. It's asinine.
It is. I think, you know, with how they did it in Injustice, I think Capcom should have, you know, learned from their past mistakes, like Street Fighter V, and I think what they did with Injustice 2, you know, having Darkseid as, you know, the one pre-order character, I think that's honestly the way to go for future fighting games.
It's just common sense, because, I mean, Injustice has the benefit, another Realm Studios, I should say, has the benefit of the doubt where they've earned the trust of the consumers. They release good fighting game after good fighting game. Say what you want about Mortal Kombat and the way the game plays. It might be stiff for some people. It might not be a traditional Capcom game or a fighting game.
No.
But they have won over their fans with their credibility. They can produce. They produce games, and they do it to a really high quality. Even if the story is corny, even if, you know, all these other factors come into play, the fact of the matter is that when people purchase their games, they feel satisfied with their purchase. Capcom has not done that for a long time. Many of their games, their bigger games, have underperformed, underwhelmed, have had stuff cut out of the game intentionally to be sold at a later time, and people are tired of it. And I think this is the residual effect of it. This is where kind of people are tipping the iceberg and saying enough is enough, because at a certain point it it gets ridiculous. It gets extremely ridiculous. And now that there's actual competition, I think this is the bigger key too, is the fact that there's competition. Other fighters are becoming more prevalent. They're becoming more popular because they're making more of an impact. And so Capcom is no longer the king of fighters. They're kind of taking the back seat. They're playing catch up with a lot of these developers who are actually putting in a decent amount of effort. And it shows with the guys who made Guilty Gear, who are now making Dragon Ball Fighter Z, that, you know, they're relatively obscure. Guilty Gear is very niche. Not a lot of people know about it or play it. Specific communities know about it, but it's not massive. It's not a massive property.
No.
So when those developers got their hands on Dragon Ball, all of a sudden the internet blew up. Everyone was asking. They weren't asking when's Marvel, they were asking when's Dragon Ball. And that's the only good thing that has come out of this, is the fact that Capcom has slipped. They have fallen off the wagon, so to speak. And because of their lackluster efforts, and because of the scrutiny that's happening and the eye being right on them and watching every single screw-up that they do, and I don't think it's much to do with people wanting it to fail, but people wanting a quality product. For once, with their Capcom titles, it's going to be an interesting couple of months leading up to that game. I think, you know, obviously the right thing to do would be to delay the game, but I don't see that happening because Capcom is Capcom, and they like to stick to their deadlines, and they like to stick to their release dates. I'm surprised they released Street Fighter V, or I should say, they delayed Street Fighter V from its original release date. I think it was March. It was supposed to release, and they ended up releasing it in April.
I think so, maybe.
I'm surprised they did that, considering it's one of their bigger releases. But just judging from the way that game launched, what would have actually been if they had released it earlier, I have a feeling it's kind of the same situation here. They're jumping the gun, releasing the game too early to kind of meet with their quarterly financials, and it's all bottom line based, and it's going to end up biting in the ass, because like I said, the pressure, the scrutiny, and the way everyone is reacting to this game is not helping, and the PR is a nightmare. This game, in reality, is a nightmare. It's not pretty.
No, it's not. Yeah, I agree with you. Honestly, I think they should just, you know, delay the game, you know, fix some stuff up, maybe rethink a few things like DLC and all that, so we can have, you know, at least, you know, above, well, let's say like an above average, well, more than it is now, but I just want a good, you know, Marvel game for like, now I don't want this game to be trash. I want to actually enjoy it, but from all the signs they've been giving us, it's just not happening.
Yeah, I feel that's the biggest thing. Like I said, I don't think anyone really wants this game to fail. They're kind of just expecting it to, but I don't think it's a want or desire. I don't think anyone really wants to see Marvel vs. Capcom fail. I think they just want a quality product, and they're voicing their opinions in a very strong way against the game, because we see things that we don't like, we see things that are not working, and instead of the developers communicating with us that, okay, we see this, they kind of give us the runaround. They give us the PR talk that kind of just says, we hear you, but we're not really going to do anything about it. And I think that's insulting. It rubs people the wrong way. It just doesn't sit well. And again, it reminds people of Street Fighter V in the worst possible way. Not in a good way, the worst possible way. Where they're kind of being shaped. They're not really responding to player feedback. They're kind of just wanting to get this game out, and they kind of just want to boost their sales. And they want to leech off of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which obviously this game is focused on. We haven't even touched the roster part yet. The roster we'll talk about in a bit, but like they're obviously leeching off the MCU. And Capcom is just kind of riding this wave off of the MCU popularity to kind of affect their game systems. The problem with that is they're alienating their fan base. So on top of already making them feel uncomfortable, they're also alienating everyone who's ever liked this game beforehand with all the characters that they've liked that are no longer being included into this game, because Marvel has business properties that they have to invest in, and they're trying to cash in on with their gaming properties, trying to merge the two, when in reality, gaming and film are two entirely different entities that they're trying to merge together as one, and it's going to blow up in their face, because people who play video games will play video games for the characters that they like. They don't particularly care for the films. They'll watch the films, they'll like the films, they'll say those characters are cool. But when you're presenting them with a game like this, where they've been playing characters for years, and then you're forcing them a product that they don't specifically want or they're not into as much, what you're doing is risking the potential of drying the well. You're going to make Captain America and Iron Man, and you're already seeing this effect with Iron Man, kind of overbearing. You're going to make them overexposed, and people are going to start to resent these characters because they're everywhere. You see them everywhere. Lunchboxes, TV commercials, Iron Man's in the next Spider-Man, and everyone's already bitching about too much Iron Man in Homecoming, and too much Iron Man in the trailers, too much Iron Man everywhere, the focal point of the MCU. People are tired of it, and this is a residual effect on the films. Now, if this comes over to the video game side of the world, it's going to be even messier, because people like gamers really do not take this stuff lying down. They will be vocal, they will voice their opinion, they will get angry, and it's a messy situation. There's a lot of residual fallback that's going to be happening from this game that I don't think both companies truly realize. It's going to be more damaging than good if they don't appease the fans that have made the game what it was for all these years when it was a dead franchise.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, I get, like, they're trying to cater to, like, the general audience, you know, putting, like, the looks of each character are almost matched to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I think, like, you can still cater to it, but you can find ways to incorporate the X-Men and stuff in it, like, look at, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, for example. Like, the first, like, literally, they took elements of the comic books, the original Stan Lee, Jack Kirby comic books, and they still, like, they had elements of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, Iron Man was, you know, pretty much Iron Man from the movies, but they still, like, it was still the Avengers from the comics, so, like, I don't understand why they can't do the same for now. And, you know, it's just a mess.
Yeah. I mean, it's a weird, sticky situation that doesn't make sense in a lot of ways, and it should. It realistically should, but it doesn't. And I don't know how they managed to screw it up. I mean, you've heard similar stories to kind of what happened with the development of Marvel 3, and then subsequently what happened with that game. But it's just, it's weird. It's a weird situation, and I personally don't see things going any better because the way that Capcom works is that they're very stuffed up. They think they know what we want instead of giving us or listening to what we want. And in case in point is like the Mega Man games. Like, how many years have people been clamoring for Mega Man games, and they kind of just, instead of actually giving people Mega Man games, they kind of insulted them. You know, they release bad box art Mega Man and Street Fighter Cross Tekken. They give people false hope. They cancel one of the games because they had a fallout with the developer, the main developer of the series. It's a mess.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, final thoughts, I'm at a state where of just disappointment. I really, really hope that they delay the game, and, you know, fix it up. Maybe Chun-Li, make her look better, from all the shit I've seen on Twitter and, you know, all that, you know, fix some stuff up, and, you know, hopefully we can have, you know, a good product. So,
hopefully, I have doubts. That's all. Just like again, from what the interview that they did with GameSpot, where they basically called characters functions, and then they went on to go talk about the characters and pretty much address the fact that the graphics are not up to par, that it looks like a mobile game. It looks like Marvel Contest of Champions, straight up.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know, I just have doubts. I have doubts, heavy doubts.
Yeah. So, something else I wanted to ask you about was, obviously, you know, Sony, E3, they had their press conference, which, you know, a couple friends of mine, we actually do a podcast, and overall, I mean, they had some cool announcements, but it was disappointing. But one highlight, in my opinion, was the Spider-Man game they showed off, Insomniac, and I wanted to ask you what your thoughts, if they had changed from the teaser at all, you know, if, you know, your opinion has changed, if anything like that.
I'll say this, I'm a little bit less critical of the game, seeing it in motion, or more in motion, I should say. I'm a little less critical, but it doesn't exactly wow me. A lot of people were very impressed with the game, and I mean, to each their own, but I've been playing these games since I was a kid, you know, like, I've seen it all, and it just looks like it looks like a more polished, higher produced version of every single Spider-Man game we've had in the last 10 years. It doesn't exactly captivate me the way I thought or I was hoping it would, and it didn't really excite me either. But it didn't give me any negatives, which is a good thing. I'm more on the fence with the game than I am negative. So it's kind of winning me over, but at the same time, it's not impressing me too much. I do like that they're including some of the more modern Spider-Man villains, like Mr. Negative. He's been a prevalent villain in the comics in the last like 5 years or so. That's cool to see him integrated into the game, and from what I've read and heard and seen of the developers, they're going to make the villains a little bit more integral to Peter's side, as opposed to just being like a Spider-Man villain who he just disposes of, bing bam boom out of the way. I think that's cool, but I don't know, I'm still on the fence because a lot of the stuff that I've seen from the game, and you can pick it out and you can see it for yourself. If you've played any Spider-Man game lately, a lot of the mechanics are very much borrowed hand-me-downs from other games. Like Web Rush is back, and I feel like maybe it's not hand-me-downs, but they're picking things out specifically that they really like or work well in the other games and including them in theirs. But the Web Rush mechanic is back. The swinging, they say it's physics-based, but it looks very weird. It doesn't exactly look physics-based because when you see him swinging off of a building, he's not at an angle, which if you played Spider-Man 2, you would know when you swing off a building, Spider-Man is kind of at a slant because of the way his web connects to the building. Would kind of had him at a, I want to say like a 45-degree angle, as opposed to this one where he's just straight. He's very straight line. That's a little bit weird. The speed of the swinging is also, it looks slow, but it could have just been the presentation to kind of give the helicopter chase a little bit more pizzazz to it.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I mean, the combat is very Arkham inspired, and that kind of worries me a bit because I can see traces of them taking things from other games and implementing them or trying to make them better for their own game. But it's a scary and a fine line to tread because when you do that, you're obviously going to be compared to, hey, Arkham or this game or that game. And I don't think they should really be trying to do that too much. They should be just trying to make their game their game. And I guess they've pretty much done that with the suit, but with everything else, they haven't exactly done it. The verticality looks cool, the parkour looks cool, it's a little bit on the rails. It looks like, if you can actually seamlessly do that throughout the city, that would be sweet, but I don't think that's really, it might be contextual only to buildings, I don't think that's really outside of the city. If it is, then I'd be impressed. But, apart from that, it just looks like every other Spider-Man game, for me personally, and while I'm not too down on the dumps on it, I'm not as excited as I would hope to be.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I remember I watched it, like, they showed off the trailer. I didn't actually watch the conference because, I was busy with shit. But, I remember watching the trailer, and, like, the first few minutes, like, during the stealth section, reminded me very heavily of, Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, like Shadow Dimensions, Amazing.
Yeah.
You could say, like, you say it's very similar.
Yeah, it's very similar to both games. I thought that was cool. I also, I forgot to mention this, but like I had said in one of my, I guess it was the rant video, that it looked like it was like the Amazing Spider-Man 3 canceled. And I guess I'm kind of right on that because it looks like this game was going to be tied into Homecoming. Because if you notice, like a lot of the things that he was doing in the stealth section was, revealed in the Homecoming trailer that was only like a few months back. And there's no way they could have added all that stuff and coded it in a few months ago and added it into the demo. I think that this Untitled Spider-Man game was supposed to be a movie tie-in, and Insomniac kind of just said, hey, you know what, we kind of just want to go our own way with this game instead of having to, pressure ourselves to come out with a release to be tie-in to the movie. But, yeah, it looks similar. A lot of the stuff, a lot of the assets just look really, like from the animations and stuff, when he's moving around specifically, or when he's climbing, like especially when he's running up a building, that looks exactly the same as the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's just, I don't know, stuff like that when I see it, it's like, I guess I understand, but I'd rather see something new, I'd rather see something that looks like it's not from another developer that I don't like developing Spider-Man games. sorry, Beanox, but that's the truth.
Yeah. Beanox, you had your time, but yeah, just, you know, cut that shit out.
They had that's
Yeah. They had an alright game, and then I want to say Edge of Time was, in my opinion, you know, mediocre at best, but, well, above average. And then, Amazing Spider-Man 1, not bad, but it had its problems, and then Amazing Spider-Man 2, well, you can say what you will about that.
in due time. Believe me, I'm itching to get to that game. That game is probably going to be the most cathartic experience I've ever had in a review. It's just that games like Spider-Man 3 take me forever to do because there's just so much to cover.
Yeah.
There's just so much to cover.
Oh my god.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 is just, wow. I can't put into words the way that game made me feel when I bought it. And this is someone from, like, I will say this on the record, I actually liked Amazing Spider-Man 1. I didn't think it was a terrible game, but I thought it was a good launching pad, considering that this was Beanox's first open-world Spidey game, outside of, like, you know, outsourcing Spider-Man 3 for PC. But this was Beanox's real first open-world development game, and it shows. It's very, you know, cut and paste. A lot of the buildings look the same and stuff like that, but you know, they had a really tight schedule and a limited budget. But with Spider-Man 2, there was no excuse. They had over 2 years to build that game, and they just did the same exact thing. And I won't get too into it because I'll leave that for my review. But that's one thing I can't say about the Insomniac Spider-Man game. At least it's not Amazing Spider-Man 2.
No.
I think everyone's going to be saying that going forward.
I think nobody wants it to be Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like, just, you mentioned Spider-Man 3 and I'm just like, like, fuck, dude. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, in the process of making this review, it's, you look at it and you think, okay, this is fairly simple because it's like Spider-Man 2, but it's not. In a lot of ways it is, but in a lot of ways it's also not. There's just so much wrong with that game that it's unbelievable, and I still stick to my theory that I think that half the team that was developing Spider-Man 3 branched off and started developing Call of Duty World at War, because at that point, Call of Duty 4 had taken off and become a big, huge game. And I believe Spider-Man was in development or was in the process of post-development. I'm not sure. But in that time, I know they had to have branched off the Treyarch team. And really, whoever was on that wasn't on the COD project was left with Spider-Man 3, and they pretty much had to pick up the scraps. And what you got was a very unfinished game. It's just sad. It's a sad game to play. It's a sad game to look at. You know that there was potential there, and the game could have been great, but it was just squandered because it wasn't considered an important priority anymore.
No.
Which is a huge mistake, considering how much money the movie made. Say what you want about the film. The film sucked, obviously, but it made a ton of money. I think it was 150 million opening weekend. It was #1 for a long time before the Avengers and such eclipsed it. But you know, it is what it is. Spider-Man 3 is a nightmare, and that's all I gotta say about that until the review's out.
Is that what you're reviewing next?
Spider-Man 3 is my next review, and then not Shattered Dimensions, excuse me. It's Web of Shadows. I was going to do 2 mixed up. That one was after, and then after that, I was debating on doing Friend or Foe. But I think after that, I might do Edge of Time, considering that I haven't played Edge of Time, because I just thought it was an expansion of Shattered Dimensions, and it never really interested me. And I didn't fall for the marketing of, oh, Death of Spider-Man. I didn't fall for that, because I knew better.
Yeah.
So I might do that one after, or I just might skip over Amazing Spider-Man 1 and then 2. It all depends on really my schedule, but that's my game plan.
Okay. I'm trying to picture like a Friend or Foe kind of review and just be like a 5-minute video and just...
Yeah, I haven't played it. I actually have not played Friend or Foe. I bought it on eBay not too long ago just to kind of have it and see what the fuss was about. Because I mean, we're both playing Ultimate Alliance right now, and I like the Ultimate Alliance gameplay style, but I've never would have imagined it with Spider-Man, Black Cat, Doc Ock, and Venom, and all these other characters that are very much cashing in on the films. But, yeah, I don't know, it just seems like an interesting premise, but I really don't know what to expect from the game.
To me, like, it's very, very Lego in how the game is structured.
So very over-the-top humor and
yeah,
kind of, tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, like, even when you're going through the game, it was like, you notice, like, little bits of it, and, like, you're just like, oh, like, Lego did that. Or, like, they're trying to copy off Lego, or, do something very similar to that, and it's just... I haven't played that game in a long time, but, last playthrough was, I beat it in a weekend, so...
Oh, man. Alright, well, at least I know I don't have to play for hours.
No. No, it's not a very long game. Like, at most, probably... Hell, you probably beat it in a day if you really had the dedication to do it, but... No, shit. If you really don't want to get too, like, tedious, like, if you don't want it to be too repetitive for yourself, I'd say just do it over, like, a weekend if you had the time to do it.
I will take your advice.
Mm.
Like I said, I don't really know what I'm getting myself into with that game. I asked people on the Ultimate Spider-Man review if they were interested in seeing that. And some people were like, yeah, you should do it. And others were like, no, don't even waste your time with that game. It's just a kiddie game. And they were kind of insulted that the game even came out. So, I don't know, it seems like a polarizing game.
Mm. Yeah. But, yeah, so many... I was trying to think of, like, the games you haven't covered yet. And, like, Web of Shadows, like, I know you used to do gameplay a lot of that, and I've just got started playing that, and just honestly, from what I played, I think it's good. Like, I don't know how you feel about it, but
I think personally, from a technical standpoint, when it comes to combat, it's probably the best Spider-Man combat I've played. Because it just feels natural. A lot of the mechanics that are in the game, there's so much combat in that game, it's impossible to really dissect it all. Like, there's stuff in that game that I didn't even know existed until I played multiple times and just started pressing buttons. Like, I didn't know if you were swinging on the web and then just stopped, you kind of did the web yo-yo, which has been missing since the first Spider-Man movie game. I didn't know that. I also didn't know that he has, like, this weird, like, spinning combo where if you hold square down after doing some stuff, he kind of, like, launches you in the air and he kind of lets you take off. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff in that game that's just hidden. The problem with the game is there's no time in the game to explain to you what exactly it has or what it offers. It kind of just throws you out there. And it's a similar fate with what happened in Spider-Man 3. The game is so obviously unfinished because the guys who were developing the game, and you heard this in development if you were paying attention to the game when it was coming out, the fact that Shaba Games, who originally worked on the game, the guys who worked on the Skate series, those guys got fired like midway through the game because it wasn't meeting the deadline. And so they brought in Treyarch to kind of finish the game, and that was a whole nightmare.
yeah. Yeah, no, I wasn't there during that. I was a kid when they were developing the game, so what I was doing was just, doing stupid shit like a kid would do, so I have no idea what they were doing during the developmental process of that game. Whew.
Yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. I read that and I didn't think I didn't know it at the time because I was pretty young and I didn't really know much about video games in terms of development cycle. At least back then, but having aged and grown up and reading some stuff and knowing people, know people within the industry, and just reading on that, I can see now why the game was released in the sorry state it was. Like, I don't know if you have these issues when you're playing the game, but when you're like swinging around in the city, and if you have a significant swing speed, the game can't load the city. It kind of just stops you in midair and in your tracks. And it's very jarring because I don't think you're supposed to go as fast as that game wants you to, but you still can. It's awesome that you can because the sense of speed is just amazing. Like, if you're playing a Spider-Man game, you want to swing fast. It's just a given.
Yeah.
But the game can't handle it for whatever reason. It kind of just stops you in midair while the rest of the city loads up and all the textures pop in. And then it proceeds to make me move. Like, it just drops you dead in your place. And then you start reattaching to the web line.
No, I never had that happen to me. Like, the worst I've had when it comes to, swinging around the city was, like a horrible, like, draw distance, but, that's it. Nothing really that, like that.
Oh yeah, I've had that happen to me all the time. It happens to me, I think it's the engine per se, because it's also happened to me in Spider-Man 3, where it just can't load the textures to the city, and for whatever reason, it just stops you in midair, and it doesn't let you move until the rest of the city loads up, and then after it loads up, you can...
Yeah. Yeah. So many bugs, so many great bugs in Spider-Man games. I'm trying to think of what else to, like, to kind of think up for a conversation. Homecoming is coming out soon. I don't know if you're excited about that as much as I am, but
Oh no, I'm really excited. I think I've seen a lot of trailers, and I can see where some of the criticism from like too much Robert Downey Jr., too much Iron Man. But I've kind of been tuning them out because I really just kind of want to see the film, without being exposed to too much of the marketing, too much of the trailers. Because I mean, that I saw I think it was the second trailer, and it was so obviously a very Sony-produced trailer, where they basically outlined the entire movie. They showed you a 3-bit, beat-by-beat synopsis of the story plot, and it kind of, a lot of people were really upset with it because it was just like, it showed too much, and I kind of agreed with it. And after that, I just kind of avoided all the trailers and kind of stood back, and I think my girlfriend's more excited to watch the movie than I am. I'm kind of watching it. I'm hoping that it'll be good. I'm pretty sure it will be. Well, I'm excited. I mean, anytime Spider-Man's on screen, I'm kind of excited.
yeah.
I'm just hoping for a good time. I'm hoping that they do the character justice. I hope that this Peter Parker, and I very much doubt that he will be, doesn't act like he's hung over all the time like Andrew Garfield. Yeah, I just hope for a good time. I hope it's true to the comics, at least in the areas that matter. I can handle a slight adaptation every now and then, but in the areas where it needs to matter, I hope they stick to the Spider-Man character.
Yeah. I mean, I watched that first trailer and I thought it was, overall just a good trailer. And then, the second trailer and now, like, the TV spots they put out is just, like, I'm not as excited as I used to be because, the marketing hasn't really been at its best. It's been kind of lackluster. Like,
yeah, wasn't there one with, like, what's his name, DJ Khaled? Wasn't he in one of those commercials? That's just bizarre. Like, what is the connection there? What are you trying to tap into? That doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
If you're gonna cross over with a celebrity, you might as well have it be someone that the general population at least likes or knows. But when you're like trying to market this to the geeks like you and I, like, I don't care who DJ Khaled is. Who's he? It doesn't matter to me. What's the point? You're spending money, marketing, and hiring this guy to be in your commercial when he has no real relevance to number one, the movie, number two, the commercial. Like,
Yeah.
he's supposed to be
Like,
advertising a movie. Why is he in it?
like, give me Stan Lee. Don't give me fucking DJ Khaled.
Right, exactly. Like, Deadpool did the right thing when they had him come out of
The phone booth.
the telephone booth, and you saw Stan Lee there. That's awesome. Like, that's funny. That's good. That's good marketing. Well, when you have DJ Khaled, the only thing that you see, or like the NBA Finals, I didn't have to watch that one to know that was an obvious sellout of the NBA Finals. Like, all you think is marketing, all you think is corporate, all you think is clear, cash in. Just you think the worst because it's so obvious that they're pandering, they're selling out, and they're getting money from these guys to advertise them.
Yeah, like trying to market to like the nerds and also like the teens that like the teenagers that love DJ Khaled is like it doesn't match all that well.
Right.
I don't know if you saw, but they had the short for the new Spider-Man cartoons they're putting out, and it just looks awful. Like,
oh yeah, I saw that on Twitter, and I was not happy with that. I couldn't believe my eyes how just awful it looked. It looked rough. It looked terribly animated. The design is just weird, and it just looks bad. It looks very low effort. And surprising because we've had good Spider-Man cartoons. And I mean, say what you want about Ultimate Spider-Man, but at least that one looked good. It looked like the counterpart that it was trying to impersonate, even though it had nothing to do with the series that it was named after.
Yeah, like the first season, like the first few episodes, is like they're animated well.
Yeah, and you can say like the presentation is fine. The episodes, some of them are funny. I'm not a big fan of Drake Bella's Spider-Man, but over time it kind of warms to you. Well, this one is it's bizarre. It's like it doesn't know what it wants to be. It tries to look like an anime kind of inspired cartoon when it really doesn't have to be.
No.
And the jokes fall flat, the animation just looks weird. Scaling on certain aspects, like just the way the background looks, it just looks very flat. Everything about it just looks flat. And again, coming off of Ultimate Spider-Man, which was a very well-produced show, even though it wasn't exactly the best cartoon.
Wasn't really that written well.
Yeah. I'll take Spectacular every day of the week. It looked better. It presented itself better. It produced better. Just was better in every regard, and it almost kind of makes you wish that Ultimate Spider-Man was still going. Having seen some footage, because it's only, I mean, I guess it's just rough footage, and it possibly could get better. But as a first impression of everything, and as a first impression, that was awful. And it just, I don't know what they were doing, I don't know what they were thinking, but that should not have seen the light of day. It should have been sent back to the office to be reworked. That was just bad.
That was really bad. I was watching the teaser they put out with, it was him fighting the Scorpion, and I was like, meh. And then I watched the one they just put out like a few days ago, and I was just like, what are they doing? What are you doing with?
That's all that matters.
It is.
How bad it is. As long as it's tied to Homecoming, as long as it's within the same time frame, it's just cashing in. At that point, they don't care if it's bad or good, because they're going to make money off of it regardless. And it's a crappy strategy, but it's what works, unfortunately.
Yeah. Can't have quality nowadays. We gotta have, gotta be with the times. Gotta be with what's, popular now. It's so disappointing. I really just want them to throw away this new series and just bring Spectacular back. Like, just try and find a way to get that back on the, even if it's on like Netflix or something like that, like what DC did with Young Justice. Just give me another season. Like, find a way to do that. It's like not crap like this. But and I mean, it is what it is, so you can't really change anything now.
No, they're gonna gonna do what they want to do. They have the money to do it, and you know they have the at least the critical reception where it matters to do it.
Hmm. Okay. Trying to think what. So, trying to keep like things Marvel, but I mean, Inhumans just came out. I think it was yesterday, and honestly, I think it wasn't that bad.
So not on the levels of Iron Fist, like hearing people not exceptionally proud or happy of.
No. Yeah, just like I'm gonna like it might look a little bit better than Iron Fist, but like I'm just semi-convinced at this point.
I actually have not seen anything for Humans.
No?
So that's no, I haven't been on top of that.
They just there is a teaser they put out. I think, yeah, it was yesterday, I think. So if you want after this, we'd probably go watch that and you know, make of it what you think for yourself. But
right.
Honestly, like it's not too bad for me, so I'll give it a chance. Okay, trying to. Any other topics that come to your head?
Off the top of my head, no, not really.
No.
We cover a lot of topics. We talked a lot about the infinite situation. I mean, anything else really off the top of my head, I can't think of too much. I apologize. I'm not really thinking a whole lot about topics. I'm kind of just responding. So.
We're both. That's it. Well, I'd say we're both a little tired. Well, I am. Just long days and really long nights. So.
Yeah, I feel that.
Honestly, if you want, we can just we got people here in the stream, so we can see if they have any questions for us. So if you guys want to ask some questions, and go right ahead. We'll be waiting. We'll probably do that for like maybe a couple minutes, and then maybe end the stream off like maybe after the hour mark. I am actually gonna go start the next mission, so. Whew. Did you see Black Panther, the trailer they put out?
Yeah, I did. It's interesting. The one thing I will say is that the marketing, again, it's consistent with the marketing thing today, but the marketing for that trailer was very, I don't want to say racist, but it was very demographic targeted. Obviously, with Brenda Jewels being played in the background, and I mean, a lot of black people are really looking forward to Black Panther, considering that he's the first real hero representation, at least the main hero, not sidekick representation, they're getting on the big screen. Considering that Jon Stewart was kind of shafted from the DC side. It just, I don't know, it was weird to me. Because you see a lot of trailers nowadays, they kind of use rock music, and, like the Justice League used rock, and, Captain America Civil War used orchestral music and stuff like that. But when it came to Black Panther, of course they had to throw in rap music. Like, it's just, I don't know, that seems weird to me. It's a nitpick, but the trailer looked good, it's a nitpick, but it's just, I don't know, I find that weird.
I mean, the trailer was like, I didn't mind, the music, because, you know, they're obviously trying to pull to that demographic, like you said. And the only thing that really bothered me is the costume. Well, mostly the mask, because it just looked weird on him. Like the actual suit itself, you know, very comic book accurate. It's just the mask didn't really look all that. It just looked weird. I need to see more of it before I can, you know, really say anything about it.
It's giving me like Mighty Morphin Power Ranger vibes.
It's
giving me like Black Ranger vibes.
It's weird because, like, in Civil War, he had a great costume, in my opinion.
Right.
But like here, it's just like that mask is just, it looks, the eyes are a little like off on him, and just the kind of thing where it's just I need to see more of it before, you know, I want to say it's good or not. Let's see. Red Hood 420 asks in the comments, what is your favorite podcast?
Is it a question for me or is it a question for you?
Question for both of us if you want it to be.
Alright, yeah, sure. I don't have a particular favorite. I guess depending on the topic. I like listening to you podcast a lot. When it comes to gaming stuff. I mean, they kind of focus a lot on Nintendo, but I like listening to them. When it comes to other stuff, I mean, like Solid Monster Sounds Off, or like pro wrestling is the go-to almost every Sunday. I listen to that guy because it's just endless entertainment. That's pretty much for me.
Yeah. For podcasts, well, I don't really listen to them all that much, but when it comes to like comic books or, you know, anything in between of that, the weekly poll is, you know, like a go-to for the last like few years. Been really enjoying what they've been doing for you know, comics and all that topics and stuff. Like for video games, like they're more like, for the people I listen to, they're more like Nintendo oriented, but brain scratch commentaries. They, you know, they do like a kind of podcast thing, and, you know, I really enjoy them. And you know, that overlevel, that overlevel podcast, though, you know, you probably go check that out, and you know, might have a voice similar to mine in there, and then, you know, you can go check that out. So yeah, I don't really listen to too many podcasts, but like those two are probably the ones I'd listen to when I feel like it.
Any other questions in the chat?
No. But I'm gonna mention one last thing. You mentioned Nintendo. I don't know if you're... Oh, wait. Red Hood says, mine is the Overlevel podcast as well. So, yeah.
We got a lot of fans of Overlevel here.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Red Hood and a couple others, we actually do that podcast. If you want, I'll send you a link to it if you're interested.
Sure.
It's mostly, you know, comics and all that kind of thing. You can hear my opinions, even though probably they're bad and probably nobody gives a shit about them, but, you know.
Hey, come on, man. I work on the internet too, and believe me, everyone says the same thing about mine, but you kind of learn to not really care what other people think about what you think. Just think what you think. That's what makes your perspective unique.
Yeah. I think we're gonna end the stream off right now. So, thank you. Well, I want to thank all of you for watching, and I want to thank phenomenal1spiderman for joining me, and I hope you join me for, you know, more videos later down the line if you really want to. But
hey, as long as you invite me, I can. I don't mind.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. You know, stay tuned. I'm probably trying to do more of these chilling out streams. Yeah, don't forget to like when this video is actually a video, not really a stream anymore. comment whatever the hell you want. It don't matter. Subscribe if you're new, and all that great stuff. And to you guys, I want to say, take care.